Hello everyone. Today is day 8, and I'm still going to catch up when I catch up. The topic I wanted to do today, and this is really about embracing your own heart, is loving yourself enough to know to say no to a healer, to a practitioner, to someone who might be feeding you erroneous information. I was working with a client who was working with another practitioner, and long and short of it, without going into too much detail, she was sent something really inappropriate by someone, and then was told, and the healer told her, well, you clearly have trauma, that's just a problem. So I'm trying to be very conscientious here of confidentiality. So I'll say it this way. She was sent a photo of a body part and was given, there was no agreement between her and the other person for this to happen. It was just sent. Now, I understand that's something that's done these days. It's different if there's an agreement. If there's an agreement that comes. So what happened is, then this happened, and she was having issues with it, and the healer told her, you clearly have trauma because it's just a body part. And what I would tell you is that, in my view, is dangerous at best to say to someone. Because one, it's not just a body part, and there's so much more that goes on with that. And again, unless there is an agreement that is made between you and someone else, one, it's shocking. And unless it's something that you welcome, if there's any part of your being that goes, whoa, ugh, even if it doesn't, one, it's going to be shocking if you're unaware of it. It could traumatize you, or you might, maybe it doesn't hit your trauma. It could just be like, whoa, that's inappropriate. But so here's my barometer for this. And this goes with anything that I say. If I say stuff in these videos that you're like, that doesn't resonate with me, my caveat is always trust yourself. Always trust yourself more than what anyone else is telling you. And you can learn to trust yourself more and more. So this idea, and I just think this is such an important thing, especially as we start to embrace our own heart, to learn to honor ourselves and go, I don't care what this authority figure is telling me, that doesn't feel right to me. And I need to trust what feels right and what feels wrong to me. So let's tap, karate chop. Even though that was so shocking and felt so inappropriate to me, but this healer's telling me I have too much trauma. That's why it's affecting me. And that feels really confusing to me. I choose to acknowledge my feelings now. Even though what happened was shocking for me, felt sticky for me, and some healers telling me, you've got trauma you need to deal with. I choose to honor my confusion right now. Even though it just didn't feel right to me. Of course I have trauma. Who doesn't? But trauma aside, it just felt inappropriate. And I want to learn to say yes to me. No matter what any healer tells me. And go to the eyebrow. It just felt inappropriate. It didn't feel good to me. I may have had trauma that got triggered with it. Or I may just have felt, ugh, this isn't okay. Either way, to say, it's just a body part, is so missing the point. There's no agreement between us. This came in a shocking way. And then to be told on top of the shock that I'm the one with the issues is adding insult to injury. And is negligent at best. So what can I do with this? I can run this by people I trust. Especially if I'm doubting myself. Get that support I need. Make sure they're people I really trust. So that I can come down from the blame that can happen when someone says, you have trauma. That's why this disturbs you. That may be true, but if I'm not honored for how inappropriate it felt to me, how shocking it was for me, that's how I learned to have my heart broken. And I want to heal my heart. Learn to trust my inner knower. When something feels off, trust that. Even if the mass majority tells me differently. Learning to love my own heart is learning to trust those impulses that say, that didn't feel right. Something's off here. I don't need to know the why right now. I just want to learn to trust my inner knower and trust that it's guiding me. And I do this a little more each and every time I get support to help me. And take a breath. So, I just felt like this was really important to talk about, because if you're working with someone who's under the healer guise, whatever, it can be an EFT practitioner, it can be a business coach, it can be anything. You can go to a medical doctor and you're like, I don't know, something's not right here. Something feels off here. It's like, start to learn to trust that. I think the hard thing that I find about this field that I'm in is, I see it, and I see it quite a bit. I have my own trauma. I've got my own issues. That is absolutely true. I am a flawed, fallible human being. But I heard somebody say this today, and it's so true. If you're working with someone who's like, basically they've got it all together, they've reached the pinnacle of success, or they're enlightened or whatever, run as fast as you can in the opposite direction. And if if something happens for you and it feels like, man, you just get that impulse like, this isn't right. It just doesn't feel right. That is to be trusted. And if you take that to someone who is a healer that hasn't healed their own stuff or isn't working on their stuff with some consistency, unfortunately, what can happen is projection can happen. And they can say, you know, you have trauma, that's why it bothers you. Like this is what was said to this client of mine. That indicates you have trauma. It's just a body part, you know. And I'm like, no. Because the fact that she was feeling so off and so wrong, like it was like, oh, something's so not right here. And again, there was no agreement between her and this person that sent the thing. And so that's different. If there's an agreement, there wasn't. And then to be told, well, that's your trauma and that's why it bothers you. It's like, no, something inappropriate happened and I'm going to pay attention to that. So Sandra, I can tell you're here and I can't tell who else was here, but thanks for being here and I hope you find this helpful and we'll see you back here for the next video tomorrow. Bye for now.